Good evening. This is our presentation on Netflix and strategic change leadership as part of our Professional Studies of Homeland Security program. I am Erica Algio.
And I'm Sierra Sharon. This is going to be our roadmap for tonight. We're going to start by giving a brief background of how Netflix came to be, then look into the culture and leadership style of the CEO and founder. We will then transition to the change model we found most applicable to Netflix. During this presentation, we will identify 2 failed changes that occurred and how Netflix applied the STARS model to sustain success. We will then discuss future concerns that Netflix has as it continues to grow.
The company was founded in 1998 after Wilmot Reed Hastings Jr. got fined $40 for a late DVD rental, which was probably from Blockbuster. While at the gym, he was thinking of how he was going to explain the fee to his wife when it hit him. He pays $40 a month to subscribe to a gym that he can use as often or as little as he would like. Why can't movie rentals be the same? Sometime after, he co-founded Netflix on this subscription model with his business associate, Mark Randolph. The 2 men had previously worked together at Pure Software. For those of you unfamiliar with Pure Software, it was also founded by Wilmot Hastings with 2 others around 1991 and was externally bought in August of 1997. This buyout subsequently gave Hastings Jr. the capital to start Netflix. During our research, we found that Hastings Jr., who is the current CEO, had a specific leadership style that we spoke about in class. Hastings was known to meet with all new employees to discuss the culture at Netflix and his theories on it. He also had a hands-on approach to the success of the company and its employees. Hastings was quoted saying, "At most companies, average performers get an average raise. At Netflix, they get a generous severance package." Hastings shows signs of having a democratic leadership style where he encourages decisions to be made from different perspectives. His hands-on approach is persuasive while also allowing lower-level employees to make decisions. As we learned in class, democratic leaders can also be persuasive. These leaders allow others to make decisions by promoting and persuading lower-level leaders to make decisions with the company's mission in mind. Hastings exudes this. Netflix team members feel ownership of the firm and its ideas. The culture has proven to help improve the sharing of ideas and experiences internally for the organization. Hastings is also a transformational leader. Since inception, his leadership has developed a clear and appealing vision for the company. He takes ownership by meeting with all new employees and articulating and promoting this vision. He also expresses confidence in the vision's followers. Hastings uses cultural forms to emphasize his own ideologies on the company while also managing the politics of the organization's internal subcultures. This slide illustrates key milestones in the evolution of Netflix. It will provide a little bit of a background as we go further with our presentation. In 1997, the company was founded in California. In 1998, Netflix officially launched the website. In 1999, the monthly subscription concept launched for consumers. Fast forward to 2007, the streaming video service launched for consumers, allowing them to access content via mobile devices. In 2010, Netflix started an international expansion. In 2013, Netflix had its first original content available. And by 2016, the offline playback feature was available worldwide, allowing users to download content and watch without streaming. During our research, we found that the STARS model best fit the change that Netflix experienced from startup to the multi-million dollar company we all know today. As you can see by the slide, there are 4 major phases: startup, sustaining success, realignment, and turnaround. This model provides opportunities for feedback in the form of success or failure and a chance to start over again. The model's non-linear flow allows for growth in the form of the growth loop, recovery after a failure in the form of the recovery loop, or in the event of a crisis, an opportunity to turn around and potentially become a successful company again.
The idea of Netflix as a subscription-based DVD service took off. In 4 short years, they had 600,000 subscribers. 8 years after starting, it jumped up to 6.3 million, and by 2010, which was 12 years after they started, they had 20 million subscribers. Along with the increase in subscriptions, consumers also changed how they watched Netflix. High-speed internet became more readily available to households, and consumers changed from watching via their computers to their mobile devices or gaming systems, such as their iPhone, iPad, the Nintendo Wii, your PS3, etc. With this new capability, the rise in competitors such as Hulu, Google TV, Apple TV, and even certain cable companies began to appear. Physical DVD companies like Blockbuster were still around, but they were slowly fading into the background. As Netflix's popularity grew, the need for content grew as well. This caused the cost of licensing to increase by $1.1 billion, irritating many subscribers who felt the burden through the increased monthly charges.
The first failed change we're going to discuss was when Hastings Jr., the CEO, made an announcement that the company would split the DVD services from the streaming services. Netflix would remain as the source for online content, while Qwikster, the name of the new startup, would provide DVDs through a separate website. This meant that customers would no longer be able to have one account for both services, which caused confusion. As a result of the announcement, Netflix stocks plummeted. The company also lost 800,000 subscribers in a single quarter. Around the same time, the company was unsuccessful in attempts to renew licensing agreements with well-known production companies like Starz, Sony Entertainment, and Walt Disney World Corporation. As you can see in the diagram, the decision to divide the streaming and DVD service was an attempt at a realignment. The move was fast approaching failure. From the loss of subscribers and stocks to the potential one-day delivery by the United States Postal Service being no longer an option, had the company moved forward with this Qwikster, it would have been a failure. Shortly after the announcement for Qwikster, on October 10, 2011, Netflix announced they would keep the DVD option under Netflix, thus keeping the organization from needing to accomplish a total turnaround and avoiding being in the crisis loop of the STARS model.
The realignment was successful because they did not try to force the split between Netflix and Qwikster. They quickly realized their plan was not going to work, stopping the realignment and keeping the company from facing any more serious backlash than the loss of stocks and the subscribers. Hastings Jr. recognized that streaming was the future. By focusing on streaming content, he was able to expand into Canada, Latin America, Caribbean, United Kingdom, Ireland, Europe, and by the end of 2011 was in 42 countries, allowing for more content for a variety of customers. Once the decision was made to focus on streaming services, the company entered into the recovery loop. Hastings Jr. saw that the future was in video streaming. The customer base in America wasn't quite ready for streaming service solely, but the international community was. Netflix looked to grow the company outward by expanding service availability internationally. The only service available internationally was streaming, which ultimately became a success for the company. Netflix continued to expand worldwide. Unlike traditional cable services that are tethered to a broadcast schedule and offer niche programming, Netflix is able to produce a variety of content for different audiences. Through the magic of the internet and increases in homes with access to high-speed internet, Netflix is able to serve different audiences simultaneously at any time. As of 2017, there are 109 million subscribers worldwide in over 190 countries. Netflix has expanded its content to more than 140 million hours of entertainment available for you to watch.
The second failure we identified in our research was something we've already previously mentioned. The company lost the Starz licensing content in 2012. The content allowed Netflix to have access to newer films through Sony Pictures and Walt Disney. Effectively, the company was able to piggyback off the deals that Starz had with major movie studios. The Starz content altogether accounted for 8% of viewing in the US alone. The loss of this caused Netflix stocks to go down 8.7% and forced Netflix to find new alternatives to gaining content. As you can see in the model, the company enjoyed success up until the failed renewal of licenses, which put them on the path to realignment. The loss caused the company to begin looking at what else they could do to provide entertainment to its subscribers while also attempting to gain additional subscribers. While the loss of Starz in February of 2012 was a hit to content, it did force the company to reevaluate how it acquired licensing content. They were able to get rid of the middleman, which in the previous case was Starz, and they went directly to the source. By the end of the year, December 2012, Netflix acquired exclusive US rights to movies from Walt Disney Studios, which would begin in 2016. By 2014, Netflix and Sony Animation reached a multi-year agreement allowing Netflix to stream their content. Additionally, they began to produce their own original content. The first Netflix produced show was The House of Cards, which aired in 2013.
So what's in store for the future? Netflix has several challenges they must successfully address as they move forward. First, the growing cost of infrastructure to keep the millions of subscribers binge-watching shows while maintaining near-perfect uptime is increasing. Additionally, the technology to analyze what you watch and be able to provide specific content related to what you watch is increasing as well. As movie production companies realize the value of providing streaming services, they will begin to charge more. For example, Netflix spent $26 million for the TV show Scrubs and $45 million for the show Lost. For 2017, they allocated $6 billion of $15.7 billion to their streaming content deals. If we take the Starz model and apply it to the original content, we see it placed in the startup section, starting all over again. The continued success of their original content enables them to move to sustaining success. As long as Netflix continues the trend of identifying any issues early, they will be able to identify potential failures before it becomes necessary for a realignment or even taking more drastic measures in the turnaround phase. So in conclusion, this is what we discussed tonight. We did a brief background on the beginnings of Netflix, which involved the late DVD and the gym subscription business model. We also talked about the democratic and transformational style of the CEO. We additionally applied the STARS change model to the company being able to sustain success and recover from their failed changes of splitting the DVD and streaming services, as well as the loss of their licensing for content. We finally went over how they can use the STARS model in the future to ensure that the original content does not suffer any catastrophic failures. This concludes our presentation. Are there any questions?